Have you ever wondered about the female figures that adorn the pages of the Quran? These women, often shrouded in an aura of mystery, are much more than mere mentions in a sacred text. They are bearers of wisdom, examples of unwavering faith, and pillars of strength and hope. Their presence in the Quran not only plays a crucial role in the divine narrative, but also offers transcendent lessons for all of us. Among the pages of the Quran, we find stories of women whose lives intertwine with crucial moments in Islamic history. They are not mere spectators, but active protagonists whose actions and decisions have a profound impact on their surroundings and future generations. These women are sources of inspiration and admiration, not only in their historical contexts, but also in our contemporary era. In this journey through the Quran, we will discover the stories of four extraordinary women. Mary, the mother of Jesus, a figure of devotion and miracle. Khadijah, the first wife of Prophet Muhammad, a woman of unwavering support and love. Fatima, the daughter of the Prophet, a symbol of virtue and resilience. And Asiya, the wife of Pharaoh, whose faith defied oppression and tyrannical power. Each of them, in their own way, plays a crucial role in Islamic teaching, providing examples of courage, faith, and resilience. As we explore their stories, we will not only marvel at their achievements and strength, but also seek to understand the profound lessons that each of them imparts. These women are not just characters of a bygone era. They are beacons of light that continue to guide us in our daily quest for faith, understanding, and spiritual connection. Maryam, the mother of Jesus. Maryam, known as Mary in the Christian tradition, is one of the most revered female figures in Islam. Her life and devotion to Allah are eternal examples of faith and piety. Maryam is mentioned in the Quran more than in any other holy book, and her story is a testament to her virtue and obedience to Allah. In Islam, she is recognized not only as the mother of Isa of Jesus, but also as a symbol of purity and devotion. From her birth, Maryam was a miracle. Her mother, Hannah, had pleaded with Allah for a child, and when she became pregnant, she dedicated her unborn child to the service of Allah. When the wife of Imran said, "My Lord, indeed I have pledged to you what is in my womb, consecrated for your service, so accept this from me. Indeed, you are the hearing, the knowing." Quran 3:35. But Allah, in His wisdom, granted her a daughter, Maryam, whom He also accepted as a devoted servant. Maryam grew up under the care of Zachariah, a prophet of Allah, in the temple. Her devotion and piety became evident from a young age. So her Lord accepted her with a good acceptance and caused her to grow in a good manner and put her in the care of Zachariah. Quran 3:37. She spent her days in worship and service, earning the admiration of all who knew her. Maryam's life changed forever when the angel Gabriel appeared to her to announce the miraculous birth of her son, Asiah, Jesus, and mention when the angel said, "O Mary, indeed Allah has chosen you and purified you, and chosen you above the women of the worlds." Quran 3:42. Despite her surprise and fear, Maryam accepted Allah's will with faith and obedience. The Quran details the encounter between Maryam and the angel Gabriel, and mention, "O Muhammad," in the book, the story of Mary when she withdrew from her family to a place toward the east, and she took, in seclusion from them, a screen. Then we sent to her our angel, and he represented himself to her as a well-proportioned man. She said, "Indeed, I seek refuge in the most merciful from you. So leave me, if you should be fearing of Allah." He said, "I am only the messenger of your Lord to give you news of a pure boy." Quran 19:16-19. The birth of Asiah was a miracle that defied natural laws. Maryam, being a virgin, gave birth to her son under the protection and guidance of Allah. When the time of birth came, Maryam withdrew to a solitary place, facing immense challenges. In her despair, Allah provided her with support and comfort, making the stream flow at her feet and providing her with food. And the pains of childbirth drove her to the trunk of a palm tree. She said, "Oh, I wish I had died before this and was in oblivion, forgotten." But he called her from below her. "Do not grieve. Your Lord has provided beneath you a stream, and shake toward you the trunk of the palm tree. It will drop upon you ripe, fresh dates. So eat and drink and be contented. And if you seed from among humanity anyone, say, 'Indeed, I have vowed to the most merciful abstention, so I will not speak today to any man.'" Quran 19:23-26. Through all this, Maryam demonstrated unwavering faith. Even when she faced the suspicions and accusations of her people, she trusted Allah to vindicate her. So she pointed to him. They said, "How can we speak to one who is in the cradle a child?" Asiah said, "Indeed, I am the servant of Allah. He has given me the scripture and made me a prophet." Quran 19:29-30. The fact that Asiah spoke from the cradle was a miracle that vindicated Maryam and affirmed the divine nature of her son. Maryam's life, as narrated in the Quran, is a series of miraculous events and divine trials. Through it all, she remains a figure of resilience and devotion, completely dedicated to the will of Allah. Her story is not only that of the mother of one of Islam's greatest prophets, but also that of a woman whose life itself is a testament to faith and submission to Allah. Her character and story are models of virtue and patience, of facing trials with steadfastness, and maintaining faith in the face of adversity. The narrative of Maryam is also a story of empowerment and honor. In a time when women were often seen as secondary, the Quran elevates Maryam as an example of what it means to be a true believer. Her role is not passive. She is an active participant in her destiny, a woman who faces and overcomes extraordinary challenges through her faith and trust in Allah. Her story is a source of inspiration for all believers, reminding us that true strength comes from deep faith and trust in the divine plan. In Islam, Maryam is more than the mother of Jesus. She is a symbol of purity, devotion, and resilience. Her story in the Quran transcends traditional narratives and becomes an example of how faith, trust, and submission to Allah's will can lead a person to overcome life's most challenging trials. Maryam's story resonates through the centuries, offering light and guidance to those who seek a model of virtue and spirituality. Khadijah, the first wife of Prophet Muhammad. Khadijah bint Khuwaylid, also known as Khadijah, is a figure of profound wisdom, strength, and devotion in the history of Islam. She was not only the first wife of Prophet Muhammad, but also one of the earliest followers and believers in the message he brought. Her life is a model of virtue, unconditional support, and commitment to the truth. Before her marriage to Prophet Muhammad, Khadijah was a woman of considerable success and respect in Meccan society. As a prosperous merchant, she was known for her intelligence, business acumen, and fairness in her dealings. Her trading caravans were well known throughout Arabia, and her reputation in the community was impeccable. Khadijah was known for her integrity, generosity, and wisdom, qualities that made her stand out in a male-dominated society. Khadijah's encounter with Muhammad, then a young man known for his truthfulness and honesty, marked the beginning of a relationship that would transform the history of Islam. Khadijah had heard of Muhammad's honesty and good character and decided to hire him to manage one of her trading caravans. Impressed by his integrity and character, Khadijah, through a marriage proposal, took a step that went beyond a marital union, marking the beginning of a profound spiritual and emotional partnership. Despite being 15 years older than him, their mutual love and respect transcended all barriers. They married, and Khadijah became Muhammad's first and most faithful companion. When Muhammad received his first revelation in the cave of Hira, it was Khadijah who comforted him and provided unconditional support. Cover me," said Muhammad, trembling after his encounter with the angel Gabriel. Khadijah embraced him and assured him that Allah would never abandon him. She believed in him and his mission when no one else did, becoming the first believer in Islam. Khadijah played a crucial role in the early years of Islam. Her financial and emotional support allowed Muhammad to dedicate himself to his mission without worrying about his sustenance. Her home became a refuge for the early Muslims, and her faith and strength inspired many to follow Muhammad's message. Her confidence in him and his message was a pillar of strength for Muhammad in the most challenging moments. Khadijah's generosity and commitment to the cause of Islam were immeasurable. She used her wealth to support Muhammad and the growth of the Muslim community. This generosity not only alleviated the financial burdens of the emerging Muslim community, but also demonstrated a level of commitment and sacrifice that would be an example for all future generations of Muslims. Through her unwavering support, Khadijah became a source of comfort and stability for Muhammad. In a time of uncertainty and growing hostility towards the new message of Islam, Khadijah remained a steadfast advocate and loyal follower. Her home became a sanctuary for Muhammad and those who early embraced Islam. Khadijah's death was a devastating blow for Muhammad. This event marked a period known as the Year of Sorrow, reflecting the profound loss that her departure meant for him and the emerging Muslim community. The relationship between Khadijah and Muhammad was more than that of a husband and wife. It was a partnership based on faith, love, and the common struggle for a just cause. Khadijah is remembered and honored in Islam not only as the first wife of the Prophet, but also as one of the most important women in Islamic history. Prophet Muhammad said, "The best of the women of paradise are Khadijah bint Khuwaylid, Fatima bint Muhammad, Maryam bint Imran, and Asiya, the wife of Pharaoh." Sahih Bukhari. Her story is a reminder of the importance of support and devotion in the propagation of faith. Khadijah is a symbol of true empowerment, faith, and commitment to justice. Through her life, Khadijah demonstrates that support, faith, and love can be transformative forces capable of overcoming the most overwhelming challenges. Her life and example continue to inspire Muslim women to be strong, compassionate, and devout, always remembering the importance of supporting their loved ones in their path of faith. Fatima, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad. Fatima bint Muhammad, the beloved daughter of Prophet Muhammad and his first wife Khadijah, is a central figure in Islamic history. Her life is marked by piety, devotion, and sacrifice, becoming an example of how to live a life of faith and dedication to Allah and family. Fatima is revered for her purity, spiritual strength, and deep commitment to the principles of her faith, serving as a model of virtue for Muslims worldwide. Fatima was born in Mecca, in a home blessed by prophethood. From her childhood, she was exposed to the hardships and persecutions her father and his followers faced due to their faith. Despite these challenges, Fatima stood out for her steadfastness in faith and her deep love for her father, becoming one of his most devoted followers. Her relationship with Prophet Muhammad was exceptionally close and affectionate. Muhammad greatly appreciated her and often expressed his love and admiration for her. It is said that when Fatima entered a room, Muhammad would rise to greet her, a gesture that underscored his deep respect and affection for her. Fatima, in turn, showed profound respect and care for her father and was deeply concerned for his well-being, especially during times of adversity and challenge. The Prophet Muhammad called her the leader of the women of paradise, Sahih Bukhari, recognizing her virtue and piety. During the difficult times in Mecca, when Muslims faced persecution and hostility, Fatima remained steadfast and supported her father in all circumstances. Fatima married Ali ibn Abi Talib, the cousin and loyal follower of Prophet Muhammad. Ali, known for his bravery, knowledge, and piety, was a central figure in the Muslim community. Together, Fatima and Ali formed a household that was an example of devotion, service, and love for Allah and His Messenger. Their marriage marked the beginning of a significant union in the history of Islam. Despite economic hardships and trials, Fatima and Ali always maintained their faith and commitment to Allah. Their home was an example of simplicity, devotion, and love. Fatima's life was marked by sacrifice and patience. She was often seen working in her home, caring for her children and serving her family. Her dedication and humility were evident in all her actions. Fatima is also known for her generosity and compassion towards those in need. Despite the economic difficulties she often faced, she was known for her willingness to help others, showing deep empathy and charity. And they give food in spite of love for it to the needy, the orphan, and the captive, saying, "We feed you only for the countenance of Allah. We wish not from you reward or gratitude." Quran 76-89. This verse reflects the spirit of generosity and sacrifice that characterized Fatima. After the death of Prophet Muhammad, Fatima faced significant challenges, including disputes over her inheritance and the succession of leadership in the Muslim community. Despite these trials, she remained steadfast in her convictions and continued to be a passionate advocate for the principles and values taught by her father. Her spiritual strength and resilience in the face of adversity are a testament to her unwavering faith and devotion. Fatima played an important role in the Muslim community. Her home was a center of knowledge and wisdom, and many came to her for advice and guidance. Her piety and devotion were an example for all Muslims, and her life continues to be a source of inspiration for subsequent generations. The legacy of Fatima lives on in her influence on the Muslim community and in the way her life and character have become a model of Islamic virtue. Her devotion to Allah, her unwavering love for her father and husband, and her tireless advocacy for justice and truth are aspects that continue to inspire Muslims of all generations. Fatima's story teaches us about the importance of faith, sacrifice, and devotion to family. Her life is a testament to how to live a life of piety and dedication to Allah, even in the midst of trials and difficulties. Fatima is an eternal example of virtue and devotion, and her legacy continues to inspire Muslim women around the world. Her life and example demonstrate that support, faith, and love can be transformative forces capable of overcoming the most overwhelming challenges. Through her life, Fatima shows that true strength comes from deep faith and trust in Allah. Asiya, the wife of Pharaoh. Asiya bint Muzahim, the wife of Pharaoh, is one of the most revered women in Islam. Known for her immense faith, courage, and sacrifice, her story, set in a context of oppression and tyranny, is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the ability to find truth and light even in the darkest circumstances. Despite living in the palace of Pharaoh, one of history's most ruthless tyrants, Asiya maintained her faith in Allah and became one of the most virtuous women in humanity. Asiya lived in the splendor and luxury of Pharaoh's palace, but her life was far from peaceful or happy. Trapped in an environment of cruelty and injustice, she constantly witnessed her husband's despotic acts. Despite her opulent surroundings, her heart yearned for something deeper and more meaningful, a truth that power and wealth could not provide. Asiya's life changed radically with the arrival of Moses. According to the Quran, when Moses was placed in a basket in the river to save him from the infant massacre ordered by Pharaoh, it was Asiya who found him. "And we inspired to the mother of Moses, suckle him. But when you fear for him, cast him into the river, and do not fear and do not grieve. Indeed, we will return him to you and will make him one of the messengers." Quran 28-7. Moved by compassion and instant love, Asiya decided to protect and raise Moses as her own son, despite the risks and challenges this entailed. And the wife of Pharaoh said, "This child will be a comfort to my eyes and yours. Do not kill him. Perhaps he may benefit us, or we may adopt him as a son." And they perceived not what was to come. Quran 28-9. Asiya's decision to protect and raise Moses marked the beginning of her spiritual journey. Through Moses, Asiya came to know the true nature of Allah and recognized the falseness and arrogance of her husband's claims to divinity. Her heart inclined towards faith in the one true God, a step that required immense courage given her position as Pharaoh's wife. Asiya's faith was severely tested. As Moses grew and began his prophetic mission, the conflict between the truth he proclaimed and Pharaoh's tyranny intensified. Asiya, despite her position in the palace, chose to support Moses' mission, a decision that ultimately put her in direct opposition to her husband. The Quran recounts the persecution and suffering Asiya faced due to her faith, and Allah presents an example of those who believed. The wife of Pharaoh, when she said, "My Lord, build for me near you a house in paradise, and save me from Pharaoh and his deeds, and save me from the wrongdoing people." Quran 66:11. Despite threats and danger, Asiya openly declared her faith in Allah and rejected Pharaoh's idolatry. Her bravery and steadfastness in her faith are remembered and revered in the Quran. Pharaoh, enraged by Asiya's faith, subjected her to indescribable torture and suffering. However, her faith in Allah never wavered. She accepted her fate with patience and trust in the eternal reward that Allah had promised her. Her martyrdom is a testament to her unwavering faith and devotion. Asiya's life is a source of inspiration for believers. Her story teaches us the importance of maintaining faith and devotion to Allah, even in the most difficult circumstances. Her bravery and steadfastness in faith are examples for all Muslims, reminding us that true reward lies in obedience and devotion to Allah. Asiya is a symbol of hope and strength, and her story continues to inspire millions of people around the world. Exploring the lives of Maryam, Khadijah, Fatima, and Asiya, four remarkable women mentioned in Islam, reveals profound and enduring lessons. Through their stories, the Quran teaches us about faith, patience, strength, and unconditional surrender to Allah's will. Maryam, with her pure devotion and trust in Allah in the face of the impossible, shows us the importance of faith and patience in times of trial. Khadijah, through her unwavering support of Prophet Muhammad and her contribution to the birth of Islam, exemplifies strength and commitment to the truth. Fatima, with her filial love, devotion, and resilience in adversity, symbolizes virtue and purity of spirit. Asiya, defying oppression and seeking truth beyond the luxuries of a palace, teaches us about the courage and strength of true faith. These women, each in their unique context, provide examples of how to live a life guided by Islamic principles, showing that true strength and honor lie in submission to Allah and seeking His pleasure. Their lives are not just stories of the past, they are beacons of guidance, inspiration, and hope for all believers in all times.